my chat is not the right one. Let's change that real quick. Hello guys, welcome to the stream.
Are we live?
Is it not live? Is live? It's live. Yeah, we're live. We're live.
Yes, we're live.
Okay, yes, we're live. Praise the gods.
Exactly.
That's the wrong link. Damn it. Okay, hold on, guys. It's the last few touches.
Looks nice.
I know. I've done my my great diligence to make it as nice as I can. So, but just the last few things there and there. Yes, and then that over there, and I will start the gameplay as well. So gameplay. There. Why not working? Fuck. I'll just make a new source. Foot. I hate when that happens. Okay, let's go for new media source. Let's go for the same video. There. And
Humanity has reached for the stars.
have some great
But on our
gameplay
journey
from me
through
to you guys.
Something else
Oh, that looks
found
like.
us. Many of
Okay,
our
so
own
Crispy,
have been
did you get
taken
the
into captivity, becoming the subject of their violent
invite?
experiments.
Is that void? Is that void?
Ship after ship, soldier after soldier, all lost to the tides of
Hold
war.
on, I'll send
As
Crispy
final
the
measure,
invite.
humanity sends his
Can
bravest.
I've probably got the wrong game. That's not void beef, is it? Not V. I don't know if I can swear.
No, it's all good. It's all
Oh,
good.
so it's not void bastards then. I thought it was.
No. Doesn't matter. Like I'm not even like monetized or anything. So if I get demonetized, I don't care.
I ain't either. I let people swear on my show, but people always ask me.
Doesn't matter. We're all adults here. We're all adults here. So by the way, hi guys. Welcome to the show. Today we're gonna talk about some predictions. I'm waiting for Crispy to come into the chat.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it should be cool.
Yeah, definitely will be.
Still waiting, Crispy? Where are you? God damn it! You have to come in here. Oh, my media source. Yeah. Yo, Mr. Tushi! Welcome as well.
Welcome, Mr. Tushi.
Yeah.
Welcome.
So, basically we're doing a prediction show. We don't have topics, we're just gonna ramble. Like 2 hours maybe or something like that. I'm not sure how long we're gonna talk about. And you got some nice gameplay in the front that I recorded this afternoon from 3 different games, and I'll loop it probably at the end. So yeah, and then we can start. We can start already. Like when Crispy comes.
Yeah.
So he has the link. He still has to join. That's all. And then you probably see his picture on top of Stubz. So first of all, Stubz, welcome to the show. And tell a little bit about yourself to the people.
Thanks for inviting me. Yeah, I'm Stubz Gaming. I run the Stubz Cast, where a lot of people call it where I interview different content creators, but a lot of people just see it as a natural flowing conversation where I ask them how they started in the content creation field, videos, how they started making them, their journey into it, why they got into it, anything they've learned along the way, like tips and tricks and little bits like that, because there's always something you can learn within content creation, because there's that vast and there's that much to do when you're making videos. And because I've actually also I now make weekly gaming videos. now. I've returned finally. Yeah,
Yes.
that's kind of what I do, and I also write gaming articles. I also post videos on a website called www.bg4ghub.com. A cool news site if you want to check it out. It's a good gaming site. There's no big media bias like people claim. It's an independent site. So if anyone wants to check that out, they can.
Yeah.
Thanks for inviting me.
Oh, no problem, man. Also, the chat is on the top of the screen. You can actually see it over there. Also, his YouTube and his Twitter is over there as well. So you can follow him over there and check out his YouTube channel. So, yeah. First of all, let's say about the 23rd. Are you excited?
Sorry, what were you saying?
Are you excited about the 23rd?
Oh, definitely. I can't wait for that. It's got to be. I mean, it is exciting, but the problem is that when I read it's only an hour show, because I believe it. They've got to bring everything but the kitchen sink. They've got to bring what they've got in the works. I know they're saying it's just games. I just believe there's more than games. It can be more than an hour because it's not like they've got a TV slot. It's just streaming to all their platforms. So if they want to keep it rolling, they can. That's just my opinion on it. That is. So I don't. Yeah, I am very excited. Definitely.
Yeah, for me it's the same deal. Like in seeing all these games every year, like the E3 is always the most exciting for me to see. Like if they bring the A game this time, not like in May, and they said they're not gonna do that like that back then.
Yeah, exactly.
It's gonna be great, man. I don't care as long as I see Halo campaign because they're gonna show the Halo campaign. It seems they tweeted that out or said it in an interview, I think. And I see some Fable, I will be happy, man. Like,
Definitely.
I really want to see Fable, like what they can do with the new Code of Paint, I would say.
Well, exactly. I mean, welcome indie gamer. I mean, as indie
Indeed.
gamers just said, there is a pre-show, but not really expecting anything on the pre-show because it's Jeff Keighley, But who
Yeah.
knows?
He's mainly a PlayStation guy. Like, have you seen his Twitter with how many videos and photos he took before he got the PlayStation 5 controller?
Yeah, no, yeah. I see what you mean. Yeah, Indie said they've confirmed the game in the pre-show, so I'll definitely watch that then because I weren't going to bother. To be
Is it
honest, I
the
wasn't going to bother with that.
It's
The
probably
pre-show.
gonna be some indie games, probably like lower spec games from like probably third party as well that are a little bit exclusive, but like timed maybe.
I wouldn't say. I mean, I love my indie games, but I would say, as this show is for the big AAA. This is for the big games. This is, to be honest, because that's what they need to show. They need to sell these systems. Although there's tons of indie games out there. Indie's been recommending no end to me. I've been really getting into them. This is the show for the big games now.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is.
Okay. And so when you think about the games, that's all gonna be there. So first of all, Halo, gonna be there for sure, right? Do you think about the Forza? Because I heard some people say that Forza will be something for February, but they're gonna show it for sure, like the new one, 8.
I would say they're going to show Forza 8. Crispy Bomb, is he ready?
I don't.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm not gonna cut you
Oh,
guys off. Come on, you heard a good
you're a little
conversation.
bit, you're a little bit low, man. You should make yourself a little bit higher.
How low can you go? How low can you go?
Probably until my knees hit the ground, and then I'm like flapping on the ground like a little seal. So yeah.
Do I sound better now, Flamish? Am I acceptable?
Yes, you are acceptable. I do have to change something real quick in Streamlabs, so you can continue where you were, Stubz.
Yeah, no, but just trying to get my point across that I do love indie games, but it says that this is the show for as you say, the system seller games. The ones that are going to get people to buy the console. Would you agree,
Absolutely.
Crispy?
Absolutely. We need a couple AAA bangers
Oh,
besides
don't use
Halo.
that term. I hate it.
Bangers. Bangers and mash for you guys. There you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, seriously, we need, and it might be a year, 2 years down the road, and I'm fine with that. But I definitely want to see what some of these studios are working on, and Phil, do not disappoint us. Show us maybe a good thing would be showing us a little bit of Hellblade 2 gameplay, even if it's for 5 minutes. You know what I mean? Just to kind of soak in what it's going to look like. And then obviously we need Halo Infinite to really shine. They spent a lot of money on the engine and the game itself. It's got to prove itself to be a console launch exclusive. I mean, that's what it has to be. And it has the one thing that we say is the last time Halo was on the OG Xbox was a launch title. So this is their time to shine at 343 and show us what they're made of. And I think that would be a huge thing. But also we want to see, at least some of these side parts of some of these studios like Obsidian and Double Fine and some of these working on some AAA games and not just these smaller games, because now they got the budget. There's no excuse. You're making your teams larger. Let's see something, even if it's a little tease. And you definitely, I mean, if Fable exists, it needs to be here. It has to be.
Yes, it
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
It is. Indy, are you ready
and I'm worried.
to see the hell? Indy, Fable's coming.
We're
It
sure
has to be
Fable's
here.
coming. Like it's the worst kept
and if I'm
secret.
wrong, I will take the L.
And I am very happy that they have really clarified this is going to be about games. You know what I mean? Like maybe they decide, oh, we'll just throw this in here anyway because we got everybody get caught off guard. But it wouldn't be something like some kind of huge presentation. I think it would be kind of like just a quick, like 20-second little clip or something. You know what I mean? Just something to just get people like, oh, or like they could do something like in August you'll see da da da, and then they'd be like, bam, like show Lockhart, and then make it disappear, and that'll be the end of the show after that. I mean, that's how, if you're gonna throw something in like that, throw it at the end, kind of be like, people like, oh, okay, all right, let's see August now, like something like that.
I would prefer them to just to pop all it, but like the saying goes, bring the fucking kitchen sink with you, bring it all in one show.
Yeah, so
and have it like an E3 show.
I do think there is some issue with Halo that I'm seeing creeping up myself, like when I think about it, because they said they're gonna show the campaign, so they're not gonna show the multiplayer at the moment, because the multiplayer is the biggest meat of Halo, right?
And what if they go boom, beta live now?
Yeah, okay, that would be awesome. But would there be a show afterwards for Halo specifically for the multiplayer?
You know what I'm thinking? You might get, and a lot of people are like, oh, the beta should have been out already. That was years ago. Like a lot of the betas lately have come out like only a few months before the actual launch. For a lot, like Gears 5, it only came out a few months before for the multiplayer beta. So they kind of shortened the span, which may or may not be smart. The only thing is Halo 5 multiplayer is so good that I don't see them like kind of veering off too far. You know what I mean? Because you've really adding a few things, changing maybe one or two things, but really keeping the essence of Halo 5 multiplayer. So then they've really focused on the campaign. You know what I mean? And I think that's what they want to show right now. Just because Halo 5's campaign was not good in most hardcore Halo players' opinions. So it's one of those things like let's bring them back into the fold, the ones that really love the campaign more than the multiplayer, and eventually reassure people that the multiplayer is still going to be great. But when you screw up one thing or the other, that's the thing about Xbox games. You got two elements involved, a lot of them. So, it's one of those things. Do you want to focus on one or the other. And I think right now is the time to just focus on the campaign.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And what do you think, Stubbs?
Well, see, it's the thing with Halo. I mean, I haven't completed all the Halos. I own them all, but I have played. I have played Halo 5 online, and it's very good.
Yeah, 5 is amazing. Like,
I think recently they've been teaching the coalition a few things
Mm-hmm.
because it's getting
Yeah.
better. Certain
Yeah.
people have left.
oh, actually, yeah, I do have to say, like, how the multiplayer is structured in Gears, like when I came back a few days ago with Crispy, when we were playing.
He joined the sweatiest lobby he possibly could. And he was right with me in kills. So
Wow,
yeah, he did pretty good.
And
He,
that
well
was,
done.
I
I
think that
taught
was
a
my,
few things through the campaign though. He played the whole game through the campaign with me, so
Oh,
he's
okay.
learned a few things.
yeah, you were dominating with that robot though, like, what was his name again?
Jack, or
Yeah,
yeah, Jack,
like
or
there's in the campaign there's this robot called Jack. Normally you don't operate them at all, but in the multiplayer, like when you play co-op or online, you can actually play Jack, and it's so fun to see someone play Jack. Like it's so insane. But the game was buggy. I think
yeah.
the after so much after launch, it's still too buggy to play. We
Yeah,
had
but
to restart multiple times during the campaign.
A
I
couple
think
of
it's
times it was my fault. I wasn't pressing the right button though. I
yeah,
will
but to
say
be
that.
fair, that's what happens when you put. I might be wrong, but they actually built that Gears 5 with it running online, with online fucking synchronization. That
Yes,
never,
yes.
never should have happened. That
Yeah, I do agree on that as well. Like, I do agree on that. Like, it was
Hopefully
fucked up.
Halo's learned from that too, because
hopefully, yeah.
Oh,
I
trust
played
me, man.
A lot of Division, and that same type of stuff happened definitely.
Oh, okay.
Also, for me and Crispy, we're gonna go to all the Halo games. He's doing Reach on his own right now, but we're gonna start doing all the Halo campaigns for cope.
Well, you can join me on Reach because I haven't really played it yet. So like
I
I
know, I
played the
know.
halfway
I'm
through,
trying to
but
get my time. I'm trying to get my time. So I'll be tomorrow evening. I can play a little, and then probably
uh,
Tuesday.
Tuesday
Tuesday I'm home, so
Tuesday I can do it like 5 here, so that's what, like 10, 11 there, something like that.
I have nothing. I have no work on Tuesday, so it's no problem, man.
Sounds good.
It's no problem.
We can start there.
Yeah, we're gonna get you over there, man. So you can tell. What's the name again? Mr. Boomstick, that you played all the Halo games. He's gonna be proud of you. So yeah, um, what I'm thinking about Halo 5 in the first place, like when you look at all the trails, they're really like going for that open world. It really feels like it, that it's like seamless open world gameplay that you're going through. Um, yeah, I feel it's gonna be something quite unusual for the Halo series. Like not just like instance based like with the other missions. Like normally you do like a mission and you go linear from one mission to the next. Like do you also think that's going to change?
Maybe, maybe we'll see. I hope they don't go the. You got to do one or the other, or you got to do it better than they tried in Gears. I mean, I enjoy the
Oh,
multiplayer more than the campaign. Some people enjoy the campaign more than the multiplayer, but the campaign I felt like Act 1 was really great, and then you kind of there was parts of like Act 2 and 3 that were really awesome, but there's also a lot of finding it, and that kind of drives me nuts.
no, I do have to say, Act 3, like when you're back in the city at the end, like that piece is on fire, man. That piece is so good in the campaign of Halo 5. I really enjoy that. Like it's a fun game. Um, but I'm specifically talking about the campaign here, not the multiplayer, because the multiplayer it's not going to be a battle royale probably. I feel that could be there. Like it would be fun.
No, no, not
Oh,
now.
Battle
No,
Royale.
we
Oh
do not
boy.
want that.
That would
No,
be cool, man. With the
no,
with the
no.
with the with the flying vehicles and the normal vehicles, like would be awesome. Like just a little side activity, like a side.
It would be. I think they could make it different though. They could really make it feel a lot different than a lot of these other games. You know
Make
what I
it feel
mean?
like jumping out of a plane.
But like a small, maybe a smaller map, not so big, maybe like maybe 10 or 20 people against each other, like this one area and last man standing, probably stuff like that.
Yeah, that would be interesting. But I don't know. We'll see. I mean, we they've obviously want to do something different
Hmm.
because of how much work they put into this one. So
500 million with the Sleep Space engine together.
you
So
know, yeah, that's a lot of dough
is
on
that
Yeah,
one
the is
fucking
that the
game, on one gosh darn game, man. What the hell?
it
is that
is. But there's all this talk about, yeah, this is only for Halo, but I can see it. I can see the other studios within Xbox using it. Maybe not now, in the future. You don't make
Yeah,
that kind of investment just for one game.
the
You know what I
engine
mean?
is not just for one game? I think it's gonna
They
be
can
an
say it,
in-house engine, yeah,
but
like you say.
eventually they
I
will.
could see. I could definitely see other studios using it. I would say that Unreal is what they know, and that's why they're not really like trying to push it on anybody. But once if Halo's successful, if it looks really good, if everything works out great, 343 really simplifies it, perfects it. I think then they would start really sharing the assets and seeing if some of these studios are interested in using it. I don't see Phil saying you've got to use this, like with a Frostbite, with EA and other
Ooh,
such. You know what
no,
I mean? Because that's a prime example of
yeah,
really screwing up. Because Frostbite was originally built for like Bad Company, I believe. Um, and yeah, so you all of a sudden are going to take a totally different game and force like multiple studios to use that doesn't make sense.
no,
That
you're
you are
right.
making totally different IPs, not even shooters. You know what I mean? It just made no sense.
I do have would that maybe be viable for Gears as well?
I mean, it's a shooter. It's first, third person. I mean, you see in like PUBG, you can switch between those. So I don't see how it couldn't be used, to be honest. But at the same time, the coalition's so damn good with Unreal. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Out of all the studios, I don't think Gears would move off Unreal because I I believe they've probably already. I know Unreal 5's not out yet, but I would say that they're actually kind of they might be using it without you knowing. That's all I'm
Dude,
saying.
I'm telling you right now, that game keeps looking better, and I'm like,
I know.
what the hell, dude? And
But
it's playing better now, and that's like I'm finding less rage in the game now. I'm like, okay, yeah, that
Really?
makes sense. Like the hit detection feels better. Like if they were trying to like kind of go in between because they are putting PC assets in there too because they are released on PC. So that's where we're going. Like once these Xbox game studios figure out how to really implement between PC and the Series X, which is not going to be as far off as what we've been having, that's going to be pretty huge because then you're going to see a lot more settings. I think Gears has a ton of settings. Like you go into that settings section, you could sit there for 10, 15 minutes. You know what I mean? So and then all the controls and everything, like being able to be changed and stuff like that. It's
exactly.
really it's gamer friendly. It really is. Like it's something that like even like Jay, he can remap buttons to help him playing with one hand. You know what I mean? Like that's something that Xbox is really about, and I think we're gonna see like 120 frames at 1440p or 4K at 60 frames. we're going to see a lot more options when you just actually dig into it and look at the options. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know what you mean. Definitely, my first thing before I even buy a Series X is to get myself a 4K TV.
Oh, and do you have one in mind? Because that's something
Not
I
not
actually researched a lot before I bought
yeah,
mine. So
but it won't be yet, you know. But yeah, I will get one before I get a Series X, you know.
and you have no idea for one yet, right?
I looked up a cheaper one, but near the time, by the time I probably buy one, there'll probably be better ones out by then. I've been
Okay.
told that HDR10 is the best one to get.
Yeah, and not only that, if you want like the new like benefits from the
Yeah.
Xbox One X and PlayStation 5, you will need a USB HDMI 2.1 connection.
Yeah, that's what I'll probably look for when, you know.
That's
'Cause
so
I'll be
important to
honest,
have.
I'll probably try and get the TV this year and probably get the Xbox Series X next year because I'm not going to be a day one adopter. I'm not,
Oh, I
you know.
will. Like, I don't like where PlayStation is going at this moment, so I'll just wait to see what that happen. Like normally I was going by PlayStation first because you can play every game on the X, except for Medium. It seems the Medium is one game
Yeah.
that's not coming out on Xbox One X. So yeah, that's a shame. But at least they're like most games come out on all systems from the Xbox. So yeah, PlayStation is a little bit too greedy, I would say, with the new console. So I'm not going over there at the moment.
Yeah, no, it's fair enough. I mean, as regards to the Xbox event, I mean, I wouldn't be that bothered if they actually showed a roadmap, you know, say, even show some trailers of games that, well, use the Sony model, because for years they've showed games that are years out. I know Phil Spencer doesn't like doing that, but if you're going to show people and entice people into a new generation of what's coming, you need to show people what is coming, you know, as
Yeah,
well.
I agree
You
with you
know.
completely. I think you got to go with the studios you really trust to push out a quality product, and obviously you have them under your banner now, which really helps. I mean, a lot of these cancellations and stuff have been,
Third
second party.
parties, yeah, second
I
party.
call I call it second party because I mean it's an exclusive, but it's
Yes.
made by a not under the Xbox Game Studios banner. So if you
Exactly.
have somebody that's ready for that, that says like we're on track for a within a 2-year timeline, might as well show it, even if it's a small teaser. Show it, show us what you got, man. Let's go.
Definitely. Definitely. You know, people need to see what the future holds for Xbox because bloody sick of them saying, hey, there's no games. Do you know what I mean?
They're gonna find a new narrative. Like it's always something now. It seems the SSD is the new narrative, and then it's like it has more power because of
But
the SSD.
we'll say one thing: I do want to see some new games from Xbox and new franchises are starting on
I've
new
already
games.
seen a
You know,
lot. Like I know the first party, like the third party, like from the May showcase, that Bright Memory game. That looks like a fun shooter, like Shadow Warrior type game.
yeah,
Looks
Yeah, that
so
game is
cool.
actually already out on Steam for
yeah,
beta, I believe. So
Really?
yeah, that is one dev, I believe, that's working on that game.
What?
yeah.
So
I heard
Damn.
that, but there's a lot of people that don't believe it.
and it reminds me of, you remember Bulletstorm? It reminds me
Yeah,
of
Yeah.
a cross between Bulletstorm and like what's a first person type melee game that has a lot of like, I'm trying to think, but it reminds me of like Bulletstorm crossed with like, having some serious melee elements in there
Mhm.
too.
Yeah.
but he's genius, that bloke. If he really is one person, he's a bloody genius. You know
Yeah.
what I
If
mean?
you look how the game looks, that's
Hire
so
him,
detailed.
Phil.
Yeah,
Just hire him. He's probably like, the dude's probably like, no, I got a big payday coming. Screw that.
Nah, he's probably like under contract with them already. Like, if it sells, maybe they're gonna give him more. And maybe they bring them under their umbrella. I mean, they're looking for more studios. Don't want to talk about W Games because it's been talked too much already. I don't want to start that can of worms.
Yeah, that's a big can at this point.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is.
yeah,
Yeah.
we're not gonna go there. I don't think this is something like they're not gonna even show it on they probably like if they have something to show about that, probably be like a game, but they're not gonna say like studios acquisitions probably at this show. So
Just imagine if they did right at the end. Boom, we've just acquired
nah,
it.
nah. At the end will be Fable or Xbox Live Gold going free. I think that's going to happen. Also, when on Twitter, like today or yesterday, there was Supersonic Station. He made a video.
He's apologised about that on Twitter today.
Why?
I've seen a tweet not so long ago.
Why did he apologize?
I'll find it.
Okay,
Supersonic.
because he was actually showing video and it looks legit, man. Like he has no Xbox Live Gold because he plays PlayStation. Like that's his main platform. We know
There you
that.
go. There you go. I would like to deeply apologise for my last video that I stated Xbox having free multiplayer. I was very wrong. I always admit that when I'm wrong, which isn't often. However, it does seem, however, that Game Pass isn't allowing us to access each other's games anymore. Dan, I don't know what he's on about, but he doesn't believe it's going to be free.
Super is someone.
But what I think they will do is they will
It's
they will get rid of it. They just put it into the Game Pass.
he probably had it, and actually, I can go into this. My friend, right? He has one of my old Xboxes. It's my Gears 4. I gave it to him for Christmas because like
Mhm.
he really he wanted to play with his son, and his son only plays on Xbox. So now he's in the ecosystem. Now he's buying the Series X before anything else. He's done with PlayStation now. That's how, you know how much it's impacted him. But he's getting all of this stuff still, even though he's removed my name off because like it used to be a console I shared with.
Okay.
And he removed everything, and he's still getting all he got MK11 that I bought. He got it for nothing. It's on just that Xbox, and it keeps like getting all the stuff that I'm getting.
Funny, you should say that,
That's
right?
cool.
I had a friend who used to work a few years ago, and he bought an Xbox One from a shop called CEX in second-hand one, and he kept getting games appearing on his console, like all the latest games, and he hasn't a bloody clue who it was. But obviously, he just played them. But the account wasn't linked or anything. These games just were appearing on his console. They were.
That might have
You
been
know,
what happened to him. That
you know.
might have been, So I'm not. That's one glitch where you say, no,
Yeah.
like you ain't getting my buddy's name. Like you ain't gonna be taking it away from him. Nope.
Exactly. Exactly. But yeah, with Xbox Live Gold, I mean, there is a lot of evidence to say, yeah, it's going to go. But I just think, you know how you got Game Pass Ultimate and you've got the Game Pass that's just Game Pass for games. There's two, isn't there? I do believe eventually Xbox Live Gold probably won't be there anymore.
What I was thinking since the beginning that Game Pass Ultimate was here, right? Because everyone was going for Game Pass Ultimate because you get $1 dollar for free basically. Like you
Good
get Game
deal.
Pass
I
Ultimate.
got it.
Yeah, so some people have for 3 years, like Game Pass Ultimate. So I think most people are already subscribed to Game Pass Ultimate because Microsoft pushed them over there with their campaign, like what they were doing over there. Like, so I feel actually probably 90% is already subscribed to Ultimate already. I mean, who could pass up the $1 deal, right? So I think when they look at the numbers, it's already been like, okay, so everybody is in Ultimate. We'll remove Live because there's just a few people left that don't subscribe to Live anyway because they don't use Game Pass. Like, let's say that, right? So I think when they look at it, they can keep people into Game Pass Ultimate because they're gonna exchange it for the xCloud. They're gonna include in the Ultimate, and they're gonna hook people with that. So, and they already got the same amount. Like if you pay Xbox Gold with Game Pass, it's $15. So I feel like they just strategized around that. That it's basically the same deal.
Yeah,
So
it's
you're
the
not
same
gonna
as like
lose anything.
it's the same price as like a 4K Netflix subscription, $15. That's what it is. So to have an incentive. Well, right now it's three incentives, but the thing that I see is that Microsoft's store itself is not letting you purchase a 1 year subscription anymore
Mm-hmm.
to
No,
Xbox
they're not.
Gold. So I feel like that's because within 3 months they feel like they're going to get rid of it, and they don't want people to purchase something that because event hypothetically anybody that has like years, you know what I mean, that they've bought are just going to get it rolled into Game Pass Ultimate and then call it a day. You know what I mean? Like they're going to Xbox will take the hit on that end. You know what I mean? They'll be like, "Okay, we just give it to them and, there's no hate about it. Nobody's mad." You know what I mean? Like, it's an easy thing because now you're getting XCloud, Game Pass, and you already thought you were getting online. Now online, you could just be like, "Oh, I'm not going to subscribe again," and you could still play online, and that will get people into purchasing, maybe some of the Xbox Game Studios games because they're
Mm-hmm.
multiplayer, and now you don't have to pay for it to play the multiplayer. So that's actually kind of cool. You know what I mean? And it could end up kind of evening out regardless. You know what I mean? Even if those people choose to still not purchase Game Pass or Game Pass Ultimate.
Yeah, I see what you mean. The problem is, I'm all digital. I'm all for Game Pass Ultimate. But I think of people like Newcomb, who they have no issues with Game Pass, but they don't want to be involved in it. Now, if you buy Xbox Live monthly, that's the way it was. It's £6 here in England. Now, if it was just Game Pass, and they said the first tier of Game Pass was Game Pass plus Xbox Live Gold, do you think it would just be like £8? Do you see what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I
Would
think
see,
be just
maybe you're onto something.
yeah, but it would still be more than you just buy Xbox Gold. So people will still think it's like a scam. So I don't think that's like something they should do if they
well
go that route,
they
because then
probably.
you're still paying more for a subscription.
I understand it's probably two quid more, but it's better than saying, right, if you want to pay online, you've got to pay 50. Well, in the UK, Game Pass Ultimate is 10.99. So it's like saying, so, oh, you were paying £6 a month, but now you've got to pay 10.99 or don't play. Do you know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? So,
Mm-hmm.
I don't see them doing that because they've
you know
caught
what I
so
mean?
much flack about Fortnite and everything else, being
Yeah,
free to play, but you have to pay to actually get into the online part of it. So
yeah, exactly.
I feel like, what Phil is saying would match up with them basically getting rid of at least the online paywall and then trying to entice people with the other services to make the money, because then that's the one negative thing besides him saying high fidelity VR that has really happened in his tenure, besides the cancellation of a few games that really kind of were out of his control, and also a few releases that kind of got screwed over, like Crackdown 3. And and these things, as you transition from one head honcho to another, these things can happen. You kind of have this overlapping lip of crap that's involved, you know what I mean? And unfortunately he was the one that had to deal with some of these things. So I mean, I feel like in the end maybe we're not going to hear about it in July, but maybe August, or it could be at another event because I don't feel like I I feel like for one they don't want to go more than 2 hours for any type of event, and I feel like with this pre-show thing because they're trying to separate, the probably the games that nobody wants to see to the games that everybody wants to see. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And that's the type of thing. Like, but there are going to be people that want to see those games, those first tier games. You know what I mean? Those
Exactly.
those those indies or 1A games or even
Me?
2A games. You know what I mean? And that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to give you kind of like a divider, in between, and saying, okay, like if you're not really interested in any of this, like this is the pre-show stuff. You know what I mean? And then hopefully, like when they do a 4K upload, they kind of separate them. So you can go from one to the other if you want to, because I'm going to be working when this is all going down. So I'm going to be watching it in 4K when I first watch it, and I'm going to not be on Twitter that day. I'm just letting you know. Like as soon as I get
Oh
home.
yeah, I mean, yeah, it is good because, like as you say in the pre-show, you got a variety of games. You know, some people like the indie game if indie games are in there, and it's all about the one thing I will credit Xbox for is they do have an incredibly varied lineup of games, whether you like AAA big ones or whether you like smaller indie titles or whether you like. Do you see what I mean? They've got scale games, they've got all different variety, which I think is great. I do.
Well, and you know what? They're trying to go after a vast audience, not just one audience. And
Exactly.
that's what I feel like even PlayStation did well in their event is that they kind of broaden the spectrum to
They
let
did.
let everyone know that it's not just this dark AAA story driven game. We have other games, and I think that was a good like Ratchet and Clank. You know what I mean? Like a
That
lot of
looks
people are
nice.
going to be, what I mean. A lot of people are going to be really interested in that game, and it's kid friendly, and kids are growing up quicker in the gaming than ever before. You know what I'm saying? Like I see 4-year-olds with the phone in their hand playing video games. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
that's something I wasn't like when I was 4. Like I couldn't play Mario for the life of me. You know what I mean? So, now they're like sitting there like beating like adults and stuff at like 8 years old, like just
Oh yeah.
destroying people. You know what I mean? So. It's a different time, and I feel Microsoft has the right balance, but at the same time, I think for Phil to kind of grab some of the 20 plus age back into the market more, not just the parents that are 20 plus, you know what I mean, but the actual gamers that like live, breathe, and talk about games, you know what I mean, to get them back in there with a few really deeper titles, not even just dark, just deeper, besides Gears and Halo. You know what I mean? Would be awesome.
I would like them to say that Gears Tactics give us a Gears Tactics dates for Xbox. I would like to see that in the event.
Well, it's coming.
Oh, I know
So
it is. I
It's
just want
probably
to
gonna
yeah,
a
happen.
date.
It's probably
no,
gonna
no,
happen
no,
at.
it's coming. It's been confirmed. It's coming.
Yeah,
Phil said
Mhm.
himself. I can't wait to play
that
Gears.
looks good.
Yeah, yeah. He's it's coming. It's just they're working out the kinks because they don't want they don't want what Gears 5
You mean
want.
the PC players are the beta testers? Do you critically?
Yeah, they're the beta testers.
I feel that way. I feel
What
that
like
way.
we were the Gears 5 the beta testers?
So
Yeah.
actually, we're privileged to get the non-buggy game when it comes out on Xbox. So I'm
Yeah,
not
that's what
even
I'm
gonna
looking
try the
for.
game. I'm probably gonna try the game because it's in Game Pass. Like Game Pass is good for trying games. That's what I feel like. Most
It's
games I would not even play if I would have to buy them. So that's why I feel Game Pass is for me as well. But on the other note, there's also like Flight Simulator coming out for PC because it's a PC franchise in the first place. And the thing is, I do want to know if the single, like you have the Ultimate Edition and the Deluxe Edition and stuff, like if it comes over to Xbox.
Oh, I want that to come over. It's
Yeah,
got to.
I'm
Come on.
asking Phil, but he doesn't respond. Like
He
normally
won't
he responds
respond
to.
to that.
He didn't respond. I'm waiting. Come on, Phil, respond to me, you fucking bastard.
Dude, just be. I'll tell you right now. If you get a like, which I think I've gotten one from Phil ever, I got one from Rod and I got one from Phil, and I was like, yes, I did something. You know what I mean? Just a like. That's all.
Like-
That's all. If you get a like, you'd be like, oh, he's not telling me, but something's going on. You
Yeah.
know?
I know, but I do want to know because I do want to buy the Ultimate Edition for the extra planes and stuff. I did play the 10 a lot. I've played it like in the highest degree that you really have to talk to tower, have to communicate like you're a real airplane and stuff. So I've actually done that. I'm that crazy. So and this new game is so much more cooler, so much more detailed. Has 150 gigs of memory needed. Like it's insane. And yeah, I do want to know that. I do want to buy the Ultimate Edition and then be like on Xbox when I switch over to play with the control because it's so much more enjoyable for me. Also, 4K screen TV, right? So if that doesn't come over, I will be so pissed.
Who's the dev that's doing it? That's the person you should be asking.
Oh, yeah, maybe a good idea. I should try that.
Yeah, try that because I'm gonna be honest. I don't think that's Phil's cup of tea. To be honest, that's more of him just being supportive to a vast amount of games type thing. You know what I mean? Because
Mhm.
when he keeps he always talks about Voodoo Vince. I'm like, oh, you're a simple gamer.
That's like over, right? There's no Voodoo Wheels is like so old now. Did you have? Okay, so I would say except for Halo, like what do you expect? Sorry, gonna mute my phone in the first place. Damn phone, it's always the phone. Okay, so for Fable, what would you like specifically to see for Fable?
God, you could just show the damn freaking logo,
That'd be enough.
and that would be
Only
enough.
the logo?
Yeah, but
No,
you
I
can
would
end the
maybe
show with it and a logo, and I tell you what, bloody Twitter would blow up just off a logo.
If you give us a little teaser, that would be even better. But I just
Oh yeah.
let's
If
get the
we
acknowledgement because I believe that they could do something great. That maybe somebody like me would be really more interested in Fable than the past. You know what I mean? And that's something like because I don't mind like playing and interacting with like other online players, and that's something that really Fable was really good at back
Mhm.
then. But it was also kind of a little bit boring to me. That the gameplay wasn't good. As far as I was concerned, but at the same time, the interactions were great, and I feel like you can maybe bring a slightly darker tone to it, but still have that dark humor. You know what I mean? That would be something interesting.
Yeah, like and still have the two sides, right? Going evil and going good, but having more meaningful options, not just like in the third one, it was really like convoluted. So you had this kingdom you had to run, and in the third game was the choice between being good but lose everyone in the end, or being bad and have everyone but everyone hate you. So it's like okay. So I think that was really stupid in the third one. But it was a cool game though. I never finished. I never played the first and second one. Really, like I cannot get into it. It's too old for me. It's not like the gameplay doesn't go with you. Like yeah, it's just too old of a game. I cannot get into it anymore.
It's an OG, bro. That's
I know, but like they remastered it, and I thought, hey, let's try it out. And after now, I'm like, I cannot do this. Oh yeah, by the way, you're now seeing Mordau on the screen. Fun game, not on Xbox, on PC, but don't have it on Xbox. Damn it, Phil, work. No, this game is fun. So yeah, what do you like to see for Fable specifically, Stubz?
Well, I'll be honest. I mean, I've only really I've played them. Don't get me wrong, but I've never completed them because I kind of probably back then I used to play more shooting games. You see, and I did try Fable. I thought it was good, but probably to bring it back now, they'd probably need to change it up a bit. They'd have to make it so adult gamers that are now older and children would like it equally, and that's a hard balance to get. But I'm sure they could do a fantastic job. But as to whether I'd want it to be, photorealistic or cartoony like it was, I'm not sure. I think maybe you should stick with the card. I don't know. It's a hard one.
You
Do you
can
read?
you can
You know,
with the ray tracing and stuff. I think you could cross it pretty well. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? Make it a
yeah,
beautiful environment, but also keep some of the elements. Because if you watch even like Grounded or something like that, if you
yeah,
watch it in 4K and you have a decent setup, you really you see things that a lot of people didn't see on the regular stream, and that's something that I'm like, I'm kind of glad that I have to work on Thursday because I'm more intrigued to see it first in the 4K upload, because I feel like I'm gonna have once again a different opinion than people that just watch it live and say screw it, I ain't watching it again. You know what I mean? So I don't mind having the differing opinion, the either you're shitting on Xbox or you're being a corporate slave, as they like to call me sometimes. So I'll take that with a grain of salt because I watched what I watched. My eyes see what they see, although they're not the greatest eyes, but maybe it should be a little blurrier then. Just saying. But yeah, it's just one of those things that they've found a decent balance, and I feel like the power of the Series X is going to make it much easier to even tweak that balance, and that would be interesting to see because we're used to cartoony being cartoony and photorealistic being photorealistic, and maybe if you can kind of somehow get in between that with certain games that deserve that should be that way, that would be pretty cool.
Oh yeah, definitely. See, the thing is, it's like here's a question for you: if they were to bring it back, do you think they'd have to make it so you didn't have to play all the previous games, so you could understand it by just playing that one new game they brought out? Do you think that's what they would do? So you don't.
I think you have to go that route because there's too many people that haven't played the old games.
Yeah, and even it's too outdated. I mean, I don't want to go to Fable 1 and 2 to know how the world's going to go because I still don't know how the world's in that game, like how everything works. Like I've only played the third one. I enjoyed it. I know the story a little bit, but I don't know the full story about Fable. Not yet, and I see the appeal of the Fable games, but it's too outdated. Like they need to update. But like you were saying with the 1080p and the 60 frames and stuff, like I can tell you right now, the narrative after, like from the PlayStation fanboys and like the casuals, right? The whiny boys on Twitter and stuff, they're gonna have a new narrative after the 23rd.
I
Like
don't know how, because from what I understand,
no, but
a lot of these games that the old generation, they were saying that it's all about 60 frames. Now they're saying that Last of Us 2 apparently is running in 30 frames per second, and Sony's running with 30 frames per second. Now
Ye-
it's fine.
Yeah,
No,
but the flip-floppers, the people that
you know.
always searching a new scapegoat to put on the thing they hate, so they can get more people to hate it, so they can hate with them. Like it's one group, and it always stays one group, right?
Exactly. But I do wish this whole narrative would just drop and the fanboy wars would just stop, but it seems it never will, you know.
I'm gonna tell you right
No.
now on Twitter, just start hitting
Yeah.
that block button, buddy.
Yeah.
That's what I've been doing, dude. Dude, take a page out of Wilmy, and then those people and I'll usually put a response, especially if somebody's being really stupid. You know what I mean? I'll put a couple responses, and then they'll usually turn into you're an effing moron, and you know what I mean? Like okay, so let's make it personal now. How about arguing with me about it and telling me with actual facts or your at least your opinion that I'm wrong. Instead, now I've become let's just call him names and I'm the smarter person. Well, I was in high school once. I'm sorry, but you got to grow the hell up and stop acting like a child. And if you are a child, you probably shouldn't be on Twitter because you're talking to a lot of grown men, a lot of people that have been through generations that have seen every every console maker fail at some point. And right now from what I see from PlayStation, they're not making me want a PlayStation 5. And maybe that's a me problem because I'm not this single player.
Hmm.
But I'll tell you right now, a lot of this younger generation is not a single player.
No,
You
all like the
know,
Fortnites and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
there's so many more multiplayer games as well. Back in the day, the internet wasn't that good, so there were a lot of like single player games. Like the multiplayer games were really small back then. There was not really like they are now. Like I feel like most games coming out today are multiplayer or co-op online. There's always the option to go single player with some
well, and,
games,
and you
but
know what? I say this to people a lot. I say, think about how much money on the back end these multiplayer first games make on the back
yeah,
end.
I
Not
hate
not
it.
not 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 actual sales. Okay,
No,
like
just
like
just just like what they do, like how their model
little
is.
little microtransactions, whatever.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? How much money they make on the back end, and you're gonna justify selling. I mean, what? It's 15 million probably for Spider-Man, the highest selling one, right? And maybe
Hmm.
you have a DLC or two you charge for in any given game, but you're kind of bottlenecking yourself because you have games like Sea of Thieves or Minecraft or whatever that are constantly making money, constantly. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I go and say like at some point Sony's gonna, and I hope they don't go a huge flip because if they do that, they're gonna alienate their entire fan base.
Oh, dude, many people gonna hate them.
You
That's
know,
gonna be a huge change. Like if that ever happens, if they become also multiplayer box, that's gonna be so funny to watch, like the rage
well,
online.
they were like, dude, that's the multiplayer I grew up on. The SOCOMs, the kill zones,
Hmm. Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like I grew up on that stuff, and then all of a sudden they're just like, fuck it, we're done with that. And then in this time when people are really into multiplayer, when the actual internet is actually far better than it's ever been, even though at least in the states we're behind a little bit, but at the same time it's still far better. You still have people that live out in the middle of nowhere in my state that have as internet as good as mine. You know what I mean? And that's something that's never happened, and it allows people to get connected easier and everything. And once you join Xbox, you meet people, you start talking to them, you see the ease of use with it. And then you have Game Pass where there's tons of multiplayer games on there, and you can go and say, hey, let's download this game today and let's play it and try it out or do something. And then you can do that with a group. You know what I mean? And that's something that I think kids, especially, teenagers or something like that are really like starting to see and starting to enjoy. and then the parents are like, "Oh, my wallet's still good because, I'm not, I'm not paying for every single game they're playing." You know what I mean?
Mhm.
$60, once in a while, and then the kid's like, "No, I want this game because my friend's playing it."
Yeah,
Well, now
make
you
it
have Game
70.
Pass, so they're all like, "Oh, we're gonna play this game." You
And
know
they
what I mean? And it's like it just makes sense. Like,
See, that's the thing. It's like a lot of people understand Game Pass because I remember a while ago my dad was in a game shop and he could see this woman and she didn't know what to buy and he just said to her there was this service called Game Pass on the Xbox and at the time it was like I think it was £6 a month and he said you can get like 100 plus games and she's oh thanks and I'll do that then you know that was back when there weren't 200 games. My dad doesn't work in his shop. He was just there looking in the shop. And she looked stuck and they weren't helping her. She said, why don't you just get him Game Pass? You know?
Mhm. Yeah.
You know?
And also don't forget it's gonna be $70 in the new
Well,
new
that is actually what they're targeting. That's what they want. People that is what Game Pass is targeting. Parents and parents of kids and stuff. And soon you'll probably find there'll be like a Game Pass Ultimate or Game Pass family plan because people have been calling for that. You know, 'cause
I've been
rather
I've
than
been uh I've been helping them. I've been,
have you?
retweeting it. I've
Yeah,
been tagging the appropriate people. Like,
yeah.
it should happen. It should, like I'm sure many of them, because they have, I mean, I've heard people say they have 5, 6 Xboxes in their,
Wow.
between being an OG one or a One S, and they have the One X, and like they'll just hand them down to the next child that's the oldest, when they buy a new one. And it's like, well, I can share between two, or I've heard three, but when there's larger families, like they have multiple accounts because they have to be able to share it. It's like, why not? If you said, oh, it's going to be $30 and it's a family plan, I think people would pay it.
I think there would if there's that many.
Oh, it's a family plan? Yes.
You
Dude, if it's the same on Switch where you have like $20 for a year, right? But you can actually subscribe with it with multiple people that are not even in your family. So you can all pay like $4 for a whole year, like I'm doing. And for a whole year of Switch.
I hear it's not worth it on the Switch. I've
It's
been
worth
told
it, man. All the old games that you can
but
play.
people
Okay,
telling me
you
it's
can
crap.
like you can play those old games also on the PC. I know, but I love to play them on my big
Yeah.
TV. So
No, no.
yeah, I'm one of those guys. And also you have the cheats in the game because
What? It still exists.
no. Hold on.
Oh, I
I'll
was to
explain.
say.
I'll explain. In the Switch, they have like a special version of some games where have like some things have unlocked. Like in the old Awakening Link game, I think. Like the first one with the sword where you go around get all the stuff. On the Game Boy that came out, I think, or the NES. Help me out, Crispy. You know more.
What are you talking about?
The way Link's Awakening, I think it is. Is that the first
Yeah.
one with the two color or three color variant of Zelda? I think it's the very first one.
The three different colors of the console.
Just a game.
Yeah, I don't know what you
Okay,
Nintendo.
so
You
there's
lost
this
me
Zelda
there.
game you can play, but you can also play a special version. You have all the keys, all the weapons, all the bombs, 999 gems and stuff. So you have everything from the start of the game. And there are multiple games like that on the Switch. And the funny thing is, you can actually like pause at any moment and go back frame by frame to go back in time. So it's fun, man. And you can save at any moment in the game as well. So you can actually finish all your games. If you made a mistake, you just go back 5 seconds so you do it again.
Oh my god, that's a cheat code right there. Yeah, it is.
I know, but you can do it with every game, so that's actually quite fun. to go through games like that. If you made a mistake, you just rewind. It's basically a rewind like in Forza Motorsport.
That is fucking funny, dude. I didn't even know that.
You have to. I'm gonna put it on my Twitter probably, like a video of it rewinding and going back.
I'll be honest. I'll be honest. What's funny is that because my girlfriend's son, he has a Switch, he
Mhm.
has a PlayStation 4, and he now has a One X. He, from what she told me, he has not touched that Switch in God knows how long, because he's got so much to play on just those two consoles. He is like done, and he's 13 years old, so he's he's kind of done with the Nintendo love. Until a game, there's always a game that just comes along and it's like, yep, that's the reason why I still have that Switch. You know what I mean? And some people it's every game, some people it's just a few here and there. But and that's why I still want a PlayStation, because there's still a few games I want to play. But I also know the way I am that I'm going to get bored because I'm playing by myself. You know what I mean? And that's something I just hate doing. Like that's why I do so many podcasts, because I love just talking to people and
Mhm.
BSing and having fun and getting good views on. Sometimes I might be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like gives me a little knowledge that maybe I didn't hear before, and that's why I love like just interacting with people, and it's so much easier on Xbox. And I think they're definitely gonna push that in some way. There's gonna be some kind of multiplayer element in this show. I think they're gonna have some kind of touting how much they've improved, as far as your interactions with other people, because that's what it really comes down to, especially in the world we're in at this point. You know what I mean? It's a little hard to have interactions, but when you have a good multiplayer centric ecosystem, it's a lot easier to at least talk to people. You might not be looking at them face to face, but who wants to right now? Not a lot of people.
Yeah. Stops. You have something to add on that?
Not really. Crispy's got a good point.
Yeah, he's quite versed.
Yeah,
He knows what to say. Always,
he does.
like I love talking to him. He always knows what he has to tell, and he always goes deep into it.
Well, you're not getting the boomerang status where I'm like going way off left and all of a sudden it comes back around. You're getting
Come
the
on,
the
Crispy.
linear the
Come
YouTube
on,
linear.
channel.
Crispy. If it's
YouTube.
not, if you're not your true self, why are you on the podcast, man?
You do your own.
No, this is
Crispy
my
bomb.
true self. And this is just we're all speculating, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
Yeah. We're all
you can't
speculating
you
here.
can't veer off somewhere, like, because I will bring articles and stuff involved if I start veering off, because
Oh
people.
shit.
Yeah. I just might not quote them or anything. I might just give you the synopsis of it.
Hmm.
But in the end, like, I've read the article, and I remember I've watched and read almost everything Phil has done, and I feel like we're in for something special as far as Xbox gamers. I feel like there's gonna be naysayers no matter what Xbox does at this point. And I never. A lot of people like look at me and be like, "Dude, go back and tell me that I trash PlayStation's thing." The only thing I said is that you show all of these quote unquote cartoony games and get no hate, but when Xbox shows half as much as you did, they get all the hate. And that's something that, like, some people agree with me. Some people are just like, oh, you're throwing the Xbox flag all over. No, I'm calling it like I see it. I'm sorry. Like, that's what I saw. I saw almost 15 games that were semi or actually cartoony. And what do you want me to say about it? Like, it doesn't impress me. I'm not a cartoony game player. Like, yeah, maybe some games might interest me, but I think I played Minecraft for an hour my entire life. You know what I
Wow.
mean? Like, I just it's not my type of game. I'm sorry. You know? Like, I like multiplayer, but I also don't talk shit about PlayStation's exclusives because I think they're really good. It's just I would love to see them add multiplayer in there too. That's really what it comes down to for most of them. Like hopefully Last of Us 2 does release on the PS5 and charges you another $60, which
I know that's
would be
coming,
funny.
but
And it would have
it'll be a it'll be a
triple A multi. I don't want a double A multiplayer because I've seen a lot of them lately. They'll just be like, oh, we better throw a multiplayer in there. You know what I mean? Let's just throw it in there. And it's like one game mode. Everybody's like, oh, this one game mode. Dude, I can play 7 game modes on freaking Gears 5, and they're all fucking good in their own way. So don't give me that shit. All right?
Okay.
I want something new from Xbox. Xbox needs to give some single player. They have to. That is the one problem they have. Give us a couple games that maybe you can add, DLC or whatever, but they're triple A single player games just so people will shut the hell up. Even though most of the like Quantum Break, a lot of people love that game. Not a lot of Xbox guys played it. I didn't even play it. Okay. So, Xbox is trying to cater to its audience at this point. They're not trying to compete with PlayStation. They're not trying to take everybody back. They already screwed up in 2013. They already know that. Phil knows it tenfold. Phil was freaking hating everything that was going on then. I watched a whole interview where he was just, and this is way back. It's like 2-3 years ago when he took over. He just took over like a year before or something like that. And he had one interview where he was going off about that 2013. He's like, I didn't understand what we were doing. It was like TV. How about gamers? How about games? You know what I mean? And he was right. And I feel like at least now he's brought me back in because I feel like he's trying to cater to the games and not just, or the gamer or the games or the consumer, and not just, what's going to pad the wallet at the end of the day. Because sometimes you got to take a loss to really, bring back mind share.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You really do have great points, Crispy. You do.
I take my hat off for you, like.
I never know where to go.
Yeah.
This is not the first.
It's like
this happens to me a lot. I'm just saying, like, and I'm not trying to, toot my own horn, but I really think about these things. I understand where I came from, and what's happening now.
Mhm.
And I've had people argue with me about this, like, oh, you got to go to next gen and this and that. But then those same people, because Xbox is supporting everything into next gen except for like medium, which is like one game. You know what I mean? But they're trying to let everybody do smart delivery, everything else. And then all of a sudden, those same people, which many of them I will not name, are saying that the One X and the sad edition being thrown to the wayside and stop producing is against what Phil says. No, you gotta stop some kind of SKUs. You're not gonna have going into next gen 6 freaking SKUs, bro, that you're producing on those lines. It is illogical. It is financially irresponsible, and it also is alienating your new consoles on top of it. So I don't want to hear it, but I feel like the 1S is still there because we're going to get 3 price points, 3 of them. One's going to be 150, Lockhart's going to be 300, and then you got Series X going to be 500. There you go. You have the 3-pronged approach, just like when iPhone, you got what, 4 SKUs, and they're all different priced, and they're all like within, between $2 and $150 between each other. And you have your options, and that's what they're going to do. And if they don't, I would be very surprised, and I would be like, well, you probably should have. You know what I mean? Because your goal is to get people subscribing to Game Pass and doing everything else. Why not give those 3 price options?
You are right, because it gives people the options, and not everyone's going to be able to afford a Series X. Because a lot of gamers, I'll be honest, a lot of the the ones that the big numbers they talk about. A lot of them play Fortnite, and that's all they play. That's what they call the casuals.
Yeah, that's the kids. That's the kids probably, like most of them.
A lot of adults play Fortnite as well. You'd be surprised.
Did
You
Super
will.
not play Fortnite with
Mel.
someone with
Mel.
yeah.
She got me to play Fortnite, and I mean, I couldn't earn anything, so I'm like,
what?
Fuck it. Like, dude, I was
Crispy.
still with the same. I played a couple times with her, and I still had the same generic skin, and I'm like, I can't earn anything, like, and that's the way I felt with Gears 5. I'm not gonna sit here and BS, and that's why I kept calling it out. And finally, like the Gears coins, now I can earn shit. Now I feel like I'm earning something. You know what I mean? Finally.
I have looked. I played a little bit last night, but it looks like it's a big improvement. Finally, you can earn stuff now. You don't have to buy everything.
And they didn't alienate the tour of duty. You could still earn bonus coins by doing that. But they also, like, I was just playing with my friends and everything else, and I was constantly earning coins, just like I used to with the credits. So I'm, that's something that, like, yeah, I'm not going to get that 5-banger of a couple rares and stuff in the loot box, but at the same time, I can go and purchase what the hell I want, which is what we've been asking for the whole time, and I think they finally have found that balance that, at least for the people that love the tour of duty, they're not alienated about it. They actually feel like they're still earning stuff. You can still get like bonus skins and stuff doing it and everything else. So they're adding more content rather than just taking away a certain aspect that some people might like. And I think that's something that I feel like Gears 5 was almost becomes an experiment now, to what they should do and what's acceptable to a community, especially with Halo coming out. You know what I mean? Because there's going to be microtransactions in there. We all know it. You know what I mean? But it's how heavy those are. You know what I mean? And that's something that, can you still feel like you don't need to pay, and you can earn, and you can compete, and you can have fun with the game, and you can look cool and whatever, without always throwing your wallet out there. You know what I mean? And that's something that a game needs to learn how to. All games are still trying to learn how to balance, and this is what we've been asking for, and I hope they use this formula for future games that especially have quality multiplayers.
Exactly. That's the thing about it. It is the thing that Xbox does so well. It's the multiplayer. And it's just like, I agree, because it's like when you talk about Xbox does everything, like, multiplayer wise. If you were to try to replicate what they do it so well, because they've invested so much over the years. Like, say, because everyone goes, "Oh, Gears don't do well," but Gears is $1 billion franchise for a reason. So's Halo. I would say though, like you are, I know I'm going on off in different different way as well. How I do think they need campaigns, good campaign games, but then I would also argue that the PlayStation need to back off on the campaigns and start making some good multiplayer games as well. I know I've gone off a different script from what you were saying.
Well, no, that you just you said exactly what I said earlier. That's my gripe with PlayStation. That is, and unfortunately for PlayStation, you're not these hardcore single player games I'm supposed to play through on like normal and then go to like the hardest difficulty. I have no interest once I beat it. I've already seen the story. I've already enveloped myself in it. It's not like when you go and play Outer Worlds and you can play as like this super bad person or this super great person. That's a different replay value, because you also know that as you approach certain people in the game will change. And that's what I experienced in Fallout New Vegas. That's why I love that game, is that I I felt like when I walked into a certain area of a faction, I could either be this worst person in the world or I could be the greatest thing. And I played the whole game, and every single one I was neutral, which was like really hard to do from what I hear. Really hard to do. But I beat that game, and I used the Mr. House robots, and I killed the whole Legion with the Mr. House robots that were buried under them, which was just great. And I ended the game neutral, which I got an achievement for. I don't know if it's still there because it was so long ago. It might have been when I lost my account for 2 years. Which, if you go 2 years without reinstating your account, guess what? They just take it away.
What game was that? Sorry.
Fallout New Vegas.
Fallout New Vegas. Oh yeah, that's cool.
It's dude, that's still like that game holds up.
I have a confession to me that I never actually played Fallout New Vegas. Only the third and the
That's
fourth
a Fallout you should play.
one. Probably will. Is it also on Xbox or on a PC?
No, it's on Xbox. And I think it's on PC too.
Yeah, it's on PC for sure because you have mod support on PC. Like, that's so cool about the PC. They should bring that more to the consoles. The mod support, it's so much better for the games because probably the modders like they improved upon the games a lot where the devs don't, and they add so much more replayability to the games. It's amazing. Like I love it so much.
Well, Xbox is one of the only console makers that allowed Bethesda to do that with Fallout 4 and Fallout 76.
No
So,
PlayStation?
I don't believe PlayStation did, unless it's more recent and they did and they didn't say anything.
Wow.
Yeah, Xbox just let them like I can get Fallout 4 mods right now.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
yeah.
I've done
The
it with
only
the.
problem I have with Fallout 4 is that it takes away from the story from all the fucking building. Like I feel like I make all these like great freaking little, colonies, and then it's like, oh, one's getting attacked. Oh, one's getting attacked. It's like all of a sudden like the story is just like meh. You know what I mean? Like it's
Can
like
why are you actually focusing on that? Because you don't even need to do it. Like focusing on the building is not even.
I have went back and had like everything that I built destroyed. I had the whole colony destroyed by I think it was like a death claw or some shit. And I was like, yo, what the fuck? Like and this was like a major part where it would connect my whole like thing. So I had to go back and it wouldn't connect the freaking the dudes that would go with the Brahmins, you know what I mean, and just cross all the planes and everything, and it wouldn't connect. And I'm like, well, what the hell? I'm like, I don't want that to happen again. Of course, that was the one that kept getting attacked, which drove me nuts.
No. Did you play Fallout 4 a lot, Stubbs?
No, I'm not. I'm not a Fallout person. I've never played any of them.
Oh, okay. You don't like the shooter aspect, or is the RPG like it's too shallow, or what's about it that you don't like it?
Just never really interested me. To be honest, I've never really looked into them or anything really. But I have downloaded Fallout 76 that's in Game Pass.
No! If you go into Fallout for the first time, play the fourth. Please don't.
What's funny was what you're saying, Flamish, is that technically 76 is a prequel to all the other games.
Yeah, but I hate 76. It's not good. It's so shit. I played for 15 minutes and turned it off.
Play the first hour of it, I believe, when they talk about everything and they go through like the little cut scenes and stuff, and then just exit.
Really, Stubbs, just if you really want to go into Fallout for the first time, play the fourth.
Play 4 or New Vegas. New Vegas still.
Yeah, New Vegas is better. I've heard in every aspect. Like, it's actually not made by Bethesda. It's made by just a team.
Obsidian.
Yeah, Obsidian. Obsidian actually made it. Yeah, true. And they're now in Xbox, so maybe we get a new Fallout game. That would be dope. If Obsidian can make a
You know
new.
what? You know what they made the mistake Bethesda did, and Todd Howard. I say shame on you. If you made Fallout 76 just like a 4-player co-op game, I guarantee that shit would have been successful. Instead, you made it like completely online.
Hmm.
Just allow at least 2 to 4 players to play the game, Fallout with anyone, and I guarantee that thing would have been successful. And that's why it's on Game Pass. And I actually called this, I think, a year ago. I said this game's going to be on Game Pass, and I was right. Yes, I was.
Yeah, just avoid 76. Like everyone tries it and don't come back. Also, there's a lot of bugs in the game still to this day, and don't forget that like there was a time even where you got all your gear and stuff, and there were people online hacking a lot. That they even like stole everything you have and you don't get it back.
That's not
So
good.
yeah. So that's also been happening. There's a lot of shit happened to that game, especially 76. Like Fallout 4 is okay, much better. Um, third one is also really good. Like it's a lot. Like the problem for me with Bethesda games in general, it's like the systems are all cool, but they're as deep as a puddle from mechanics wise, right? Um, but that's like with every Bethesda game. But let's go back to the predictions because I do want to know a little bit more what you're thinking about. Yeah, let's go Forza first. I would say I do want to know what you think about Forza, where it would go. Um, do you think it's gonna be at the show, Crispy? Stop. Sorry.
Yeah, I definitely think it's going to be the show. I mean, I personally think you got to have that down as a launch title because the
Nah.
Forza games always look stunning.
Yeah, but I don't think it's gonna be a launch title. I think it comes
See,
out a little bit later, especially with all the games that come out in the beginning. When the consoles come out, dude, this I think the 7 games on my list just in October, November, September, October, November that comes out. 7 games, full $70.
I actually completely agree with you, Flamish. I do not think it's going to be a launch title. I think the only launch title you're going to get, as far as Xbox Game Studios, is Halo Infinite.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's because Phil has already said we're not looking to release a ton of games all at once. We are trying to, let people build their angst or their thought process about certain games, and I believe that you're going to see one. I think after Series X's launch, you're going to see one every quarter from here on out. So every about 3 to 4 months from here on out, you're going to see an Xbox Game Studios game, and I think the way they've acquired the devs and everything else, that certain games are ready, certain games aren't,
Hmm.
certain games could use more polish, and then there's going to be those AAA or initiative quadruple A games that have unlimited time, and then they find the window that works for them, and that's the end of the story, and I am fine with that. I want polished great games. I also want games that will intrigue other people. I think they've been very good at that. You know, I mean, Ori, not, I played a good couple hours, I'd say 4 hours of it. It's gorgeous, but it's just not grabbing me like, a good single player game would at this point, and it's something that people can enjoy, and it's highly rated. People really love it, and that's something I want to see continue from Xbox. I don't want them to just be like, we have to do this same game over and over again, or have a different skin about it, or it has to be stealth based, or I don't want them to paint themselves in a corner. I truly believe that Phil's not gonna. He doesn't have the heart in him to do that, because that would just be selling yourself short to so many other gamers that are not interested in those things.
Yeah, I mean, it probably won't launch with the console. Or it's just all I was just trying to get across is if you want to show what the console looks like as a selling piece, Forza would be a good game to show. You know,
I think you get it some clips. I don't see any. I mean, it would be.
or unless they show Forza Horizon 4 running on the console at like the top frame rate. You know,
We don't want it. I hope Phil knows we don't really want to see it all about how we're going to make it look better.
yeah, I suppose
It's
you're right.
more about what
Um,
the future is.
Yeah,
I think they're also promoting Dirt 5 too much to to. I feel like they're promoting Dirt 5 too much, so it feels to me like their Forza is gonna come out later as well.
I
or
mean,
maybe
we could
Dirt
see a
5. They got a marketing deal with them. They might have. You know.
we
Yeah,
could
okay,
see
but
a scissor reel of the capabilities of the older games. You know what I mean? Like a quick little 1 minute like just scissor reel of like all the different games, and at least for me watching it in 4K when I do,
mhm.
it might look even better. You know what I mean? And maybe that's where they could go with that. Just to kind of give people a little taste of next gen. You know what I mean? Maybe a scissor reel with a lot of actual gameplay in it. That's like 20-second little flashes. You know what I mean? That would be kind of cool. Um, you know, I hope that they really focus on the future of all these game studios, the future of Xbox. I don't want to hear too much about what's going on in the background with some of these games. I know I will probably most likely, if not confirmed, have the capability of playing 120 frames per second on Gears 5, which is crazy for me. But that's something that I'm looking for. And at the same time, some people are looking for other games to have all of these enhancements. You know what I mean? So maybe just do it really fast. You know what I mean? Like quick, easy, done. Almost like you could even use those type of things as like little transitions into the next big thing that they're showing. I'm cool with that.
Yeah. Hmm. It's gonna be interesting.
It is definitely. It is going to be interesting. Just hope it's as good as I think it's going to be. I'm not going to lower my expectations. I'm going to have my
No,
expectations
no, no.
high.
This is gonna be the time for them. If they don't do it now, they're never gonna do it.
It's
Like
true.
most people have got a last straw for them. Like they gave them so much chances. They all like. I don't want to say they went badly. I mean, they are at a good spot at this moment. Like the marketing has been right since the Xbox Series X release. Like not release. Like marketing started with the Game Awards. So I feel they're on the right track and just need to continue what they're doing. Like they should blow me away in my chair. Like I should be falling on my chair when I see the game show
You
this
should.
Thursday.
You gotta do what I've done a few times when watching Xbox. Yes. I go back to sports a little bit. Like if you have that one moment you watch like your team like I'm a Chiefs fan, so when we won the Super Bowl, that's like that was amazing, but it was also like heartbreaking at the beginning.
Hmm.
The game was so heartbreaking at first, but then at the end, I'm like, yes, we could do this. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's been heartbreaking for a while to watch Xbox kind of fumble around. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, it's like one of those freaking tumbleweeds, just like, oh, I'm going over here, oh, I'm going over here. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just rolling around doing my thing, and then all of a sudden somebody picks it up and uses it as like a bowling pin or something. And it's like, yes, we're gonna get this strike. Yeah, finally. Yeah, took long enough. You know what I mean? Like, Phil, you got to give us something. You got to give us something that's gonna blow our, just be like, what? You really did that. And I think at this point where they're at, they're fully capable of doing it, but they gotta show it. They gotta show it. At least one thing that people will just be like, oh, I can't deny that that was good. You know what I mean? No matter what any, because it really, like, people will nitpick and this and that, but then all of a sudden, that one person that's super skeptical, that's always going to be, or used to really love Xbox and the way they went about things, and now just went to PlayStation because they were like, oh well, I'm a gamer and you're not even talking about games, back in 2013.
Mhm.
You got to reel those people back in, but you got to give one thing that there's like, I can't deny that was good. You know what I mean? That's what we're looking for. Like everybody, every single person will be like, oh, that was the one best part, and you need that. Now, if you get multiple of them, I say 10 of 10. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's the way I look at it. If you get multiple of those type of feelings, 10 of 10. When people are arguing about it and just like, oh, this was the best part or this was the best part, you know what I mean? That's where you would love to be, and I really hope they do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I have to agree. Like, I just expect the mic of night drops, like was mentioned before by some insiders. So I'm expecting that. Just a night of mic drops. Just like if I get 3 mic drops, I would be so happy.
Well,
Like,
it'll be somewhat night for you. It'll be like very early for everybody else. Just saying.
what? What time?
It's gonna be like 10 a.m. in the east here.
10 a.m.
10 a.m. something like that. 10, 11. Yeah,
Oh, there's
something
gonna
like
be in
that.
the
10 a.m.
afternoon. I would even be home from
It's
work.
it's 8 Pacific time, I think.
Oh,
It's
think.
5 p.m. here in England,
I will.
or 4 p.m. if you watch the pre-show as well.
Yeah, I will probably do not a live show because everyone's gonna do a live show, but I'll probably do a reaction video. Like I'm gonna watch it in 4K probably. I'm gonna watch it in 4K probably. Yeah,
I
or
would wait.
live.
If you really only want to watch it once, I would wait. I really would.
No, I do want to watch it more because I do want to make a discussion after next Sunday. I already have normally a guest lined up as well for that. But I'm like I still need some confirmation. But
Is
probably
it Phil?
no, no. Just think about it. Like Phil gonna react to his own show with discuss
Is
his own show
dominant
with me,
next
dude. Like I'm too
be Aurelius.
insignificant to be talking to such a great person. That would be amazing shitballs. Like if I can talk to Phil just one time, that would be like I would not say like the best dream come true, but that would be so amazing for me. Like that would be a moment to remember. That would be my drop. Yeah, shitballs. Indie gamer. Shitballs.
Yeah, he'd be pissing himself and shitting himself at the same time if he actually got that conversation.
What I really hope this is something like still a dream of mine. Um, World of Warcraft on Xbox. Most people are
I
cursing.
wouldn't put it past him.
You never know. One day you could get him on Flamish, you know.
Yeah, but they're still working on the consoles, like the console control support, right? They're still working on control support. Xbox is new, Blizzard with their World of Warcraft new expansion. So I'm still waiting for that like thing that they're just gonna release it on the new consoles because they are capable, more than capable to run the MMO now. So I'm still waiting for that. That will be so much bigger for Blizzard as well. They will get so much more money because that's the best MMO RPG ever created. My opinion.
I thought the biggest one was League of Legends.
MMO RPG. I don't
Oh, I don't know.
call.
I don't know a difference.
That's a MOBA. It's a MOBA,
Okay.
League of Legends, and yes, that's the second thing. If that comes to console as well, that would be also amazing. But I don't think so.
No, I don't
That will
think.
never happen. No, that will never happen. But yeah, we're almost at the 2 hour mark. Is there any more topics you wanna do before we go? Something else you wanna discuss about the show? It's gonna
No,
happen in 3 days for me.
I mean, I've speculated enough on this, and I hope we have plenty of mic drop moments. I hope Phil walks out and he's just like got his chest puffed out and it's like, yeah, here we go, baby.
Oh yeah, by the way, this game is so fun. Watch it now. This is the most fun game you're gonna play from the 3rd of August.
What is it?
Fall Guys.
Yes, actually, I watched this and I was like, this is cool.
This
This is
is
something that
Which
I can play
Fall
with a
Guy?
it's
lot
on
of
PlayStation and
people.
PC that's
Awesome.
gonna release.
Ah,
If you
damn.
pre-order the game on
I thought it was on Xbox.
PC, no, on Xbox it's not coming out. I don't know if it's console exclusive or timed, probably timed. But this game is like $20 on Steam, and if you pre-order, you get like Gordon Freeman skin with like a head crab on his head, which is so lovely to see. But this game is so fun. We just I cannot talk too much about it, but it's so fun. Yeah, that's what I mean. That's a head crab.
Yeah, but I'm good. I mean, I got more predictions to happen, so I gotta...
Yeah, Crispy, you're full. Like this is the only time I can talk about this discussion. So you are on you are on 2 podcasts, I think. Yeah, tell them where
I'm
they
on
can find you, where
3.
they can see your uh like
Well,
stuff.
this week is the super busy week.
I know.
So, yeah, tomorrow night, 8 p.m., primetime gaming with Mr. Boomstick. And yeah, I mean, we're obviously going to have some kind of conversation about this. Although he likes to balance it out, with, I mean, you talk about Xbox, you're going to talk about PlayStation, vice versa. So, I'm sure we're going to have other topics involved. And then you got Tuesday Retro Renegades with you also, Seth. So,
Yes.
I'm sure we're gonna get into this at some point again. So I'm gonna have a lot of speculation, and then I will be on it's Mr. Boomstick presents, the double barrel gaming with the Thursday night show at 8 p.m. and I will also be on that. And then Friday I will be on Breakfast with Boom.
Are you charging?
And then Saturday I will be on next podcast. So this week is yeah, Phil, you better freaking deliver, bro. I'm just saying, because
Oh, dude.
those last 3 shows are not going to be good for you as far as I'm concerned. You better deliver me something, man. Like, I will call it out. I don't care. I will be like, man, do I need to get a PlayStation? But the problem is all this pricing shit and all that shit is just like, yeah, I don't know about that either. So I'm like, well, let's take the lesser of 2 evils if you screw up Thursday. I'm just saying.
Yeah, also Stubbs, where can they find you?
You can
Like,
find me Stubz Gaming YouTube channel. I do a week every fortnight. I do the Stubz Cast Content Creator Hub podcast this Saturday at 4:30 EST, 9:30 UK time. I've got John Place on from NLG, which should be fun, a fun chat. I've also got
Oh, I love John, bro. He's fucking funny,
it
dude.
should be really good. And I've got I'm going to do a reaction show on Thursday. Not what's that? American times.
Do you mean
4
live or is that recorded?
No, this will be after 9 p.m. BST and 4 p.m. EST.
Oh
But
yeah.
there'll be like reaction shows all night long. I'm not expecting anyone to watch, but there's be shows everywhere. There will be, you know.
Yeah, there's gonna be so much reaction shows.
It's gonna be a love-hate relationship.
Yeah, I know.
Mm-hmm. You know, I'm just gonna put a reaction video up, and um, I don't think if people gonna watch it, like there's gonna be so much content on YouTube, just reaction
Will be.
videos.
If it ain't what people want, and it ain't what this could be. There'll be, as Crispy says, there's going to be love and hate. Whatever you do, don't matter. Doesn't matter if this game delivers big time. There can be then people out there that will flip it on its head and it's rubbish. But it is what it is. Hopefully, it's good.
Yeah, yeah. We'll see. We'll see the Thursday. Oh my god, my head. Uh, Also, the video is gonna end in 5 minutes, so I'll probably just ramble a little bit till we're done with the video, so people can see how it ends. Because now the fun thing is gonna start with the video, so I'm not gonna turn it off at the best part, right? I can tell you to watch it on my own channel to see how it ends. That would be stupid. No. Yeah, for me the same, guys. Like I'm trying to do this new show. This is my third one. Every week. Where we get someone in here that wants to be here. It doesn't matter who it is, small, big. I just appreciate everyone that has been here until now. And you guys as well, Stubbs and Crispy. Thanks for coming as well.
That's fine.
Yeah. I love to have you more on the show if you ever want to. Like it's always gonna be the same time. Always Sunday at 11, except if I really have to work early on Monday. But I'm trying to reschedule like my schedule because I'm a bus driver. Normally I have like different hours. I'm always trying to do late shifts because I have the podcast at Tuesday evening at 1 p.m. for me, 1 a.m. for me. So it's really, really late. Actually, a little bit too late, but I love
You're
it.
an hour ahead of me then.
Yeah, I'm actually an hour later than you. It's 1 a.m. at the moment. So
Oh, okay.
I'm actually living the American lifestyle a little bit, I would say. And it's fun. I love doing this stuff. And yeah, I wanted to do something on my own and didn't think I was gonna do live discussion, but it seems live discussions is something that I want to do. So I'm gonna do this like every week, trying to go with some topics. Um, Trying to not be scripted all the time, but sometimes like reviews, like from big games like Ghost of Tsushima, will be coming next week or the week after, probably. Um, Depends. Probably next week is gonna be the Xbox show for sure. Like we can discuss the in and outs of everything there. If you want to be on the show, just let me know.
Maybe.
Crispy, dude, I think I'm gonna hear you enough on my bus when I'm
I
driving my
might
bus.
do the full Monty, right?
I mean, if I have you on the show, that will probably be a fun show to begin with. So, yeah, I love talking to you, man. Really fun.
man.
Also, stops. It's fun with you, man. Do you know what was going to happen? I haven't heard you so much. Also, your videos. I have to listen to them more while I'm driving my bus. So I'm
Well,
gonna start doing that.
I've only made one recently, as in the actual what you would define as a video. My other shows are podcasts, but I've been doing them for over 4 months now. So I thought it was about time to get back to making videos as well.
Yeah, it's more the podcast that I listen, like the
Oh
creative stuff.
no!
I've
Good.
heard your show with Dealer, and that was amazing. I loved it so much. Especially like you say, when you talk to people, you see their side that's not YouTube. Like you hear them
Exactly.
talking about the life stuff and stuff. I really love
And I
that.
mean, I always say I get stuff out of people that wouldn't normally say it, but I don't like pry into people's private lives. It's like if they want to open up, they can. If they don't want to, they won't. You know.
Yeah. So, guys, I will see you later.
Thanks for inviting me.
Thanks for coming. Thanks for staying. And if you like what you see, just subscribe, turn on that bell notification stuff. I don't like to talk about this because so many people do all the time, and it gets like a chore to say because everyone says it. So I don't
Hit that
feel
like
like.
button, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Hit him up on Twitter. He needs more followers. Let's go.
He does, yeah.
Yeah, I'm honored. We'll see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.
Later.